This is tutorial number 2 for Resource FE+. This tutorial will take you through the following tasks: overview of Resource FE+, overview of Oracle's resource plan process. Here we have Resource FE+ running. If we look at the screen, we can see on the left two windows. At the top, the Resource Manager, and at the bottom, the pending area tree. The pending area tree is currently empty. If we look at the Resource Manager tree, we can see 3 branches: 1 plans, 2 consumer groups, 3 mapping priority. Opening up the plans branch, we see all of the current resource plans, one of which, the day plan, is highlighted in green. This indicates first that the Resource Manager is currently running, and 2 that the primary plan is the day plan. If we look further down the resource plans, we see that another plan, the report plan, is highlighted in a paler shade of green. This indicates that this plan is active but is a secondary plan. There can only be one primary plan running, but there can be many secondary plans running at the same point in time. If we highlight any of the folders, any of the tree nodes that are folders, and then we press the switch button, confirmation yes, we notice that the day plan is no longer highlighted. What has occurred is that the Resource Manager has been turned off. To turn it back on, highlight the day plan and then press the switch button, confirmation yes, and in a moment or two the day plan will be highlighted again. We can switch to another plan by highlighting that plan and entering the switch button. If we highlight the day plan, we see on the right side the details for the resource plan. There are 2 tabs. One is the resource plan and the other the plan directives tab. The resource plan shows the details for the resource plan. The plan directives we will go into in a few moments. Returning to the Resource Manager tree and opening up the consumer groups branch, we see all of the consumer groups. If we highlight one, then the details for that consumer group are displayed on the right hand side. Again, we see that there are 3 tabs for the consumer group details: consumer group, group mapping and privileges. The consumer group tab displays the details for the current consumer group. The details of the group mapping and privileges tabs will be detailed in later tutorials. The function of the Resource Manager is to allocate scarce resources. This is carried out by grouping processes into consumer groups and then allocating resources between consumer groups. This is carried out through a resource plan and a resource plan directives. To assist in understanding the process, let me describe the theoretical database we have. It is a reporting database that is utilized Monday to Friday. Most of the time there are no performance issues, with plenty of spare resources within the database. Occasionally, especially at the end of the financial month, the database resources are 100% utilized. We see on the screen the resource model that has been implemented. The resource manager only takes effect when CPU resources are approaching 100%, otherwise it sits idly in the background. When CPU resources approach 100%, we want priority to be given to reports requested by the company's directors. These requests get immediate priority above all other requests. The one exception is for DBAs to get onto the system. They would come onto the database as other groups, consumer group. Looking at the day plan, specifically at the Plan Directives tab, we see how this has been implemented. There are 3 groups defined, and the group directory group receives 90% of the resources at level 1, with the other 10% being allocated to the other group, consumer group. Then we have another group, report plan, which is in fact another resource plan which has been allocated 100% of resources at level 2. This means that if the consumer group's directory group and other groups are not utilizing 100% of the resources, the remaining resources will be allocated to the secondary resource plan, report plan. This fits in with our theoretical model. Highlighting the resource plan, report plan, we see that the plan directives for this resource plan have been allocated 60% to the consumer group short reps and 40% to the consumer group long reps. The consumer group short reps is intended for short running reports and the consumer group long reps for long running reports. It is our intention to give priority to the short running reports. If we now highlight the short reps consumer group within the Plan Directives tab page, we can see the details of the Plan Directive. Notice that the switch group is populated as is the switch time entry. The effect of these 2 entries being populated is that if the process lasts for more than 200 seconds, then the process will switch from current consumer group short reps to the consumer group long reps. This then concludes tutorial number 2. In this tutorial we have given an overview of both Resource FE Plus and the underlying resource manager within the Oracle database.